Now, this guide uses information from The Secret. This is the ultimate written guide for DomiNations, so if you haven't checked it out, there's a link in the description below. There are 50 upgradable buildings in DomiNations, and that's not even counting research in the museum, the library, the university. So what the hell is the best way to level from the beginning? So to determine your priorities before Industrial Age, you need to know your path. And there are 3 main paths you can take. The first path is called the Striker. If you love plowing through bases without any regard for human life, if you want to progress through the ages as quickly as possible, this is the path for you. You're going to prioritize these upgrades in every age: the War Academy, the Blacksmith or Armory, barracks, your airstrips, your factories, and offensive library research. You go on to the next age as soon as you hit the level requirement. Strikers are highly desired by any alliance that is serious about war because you have very efficient war weight, which means that you're going to rank low in the alliance lineup, but you're probably going to be able to take out bases a few numbers above you. There are varying degrees to which you can go down this path. The most serious strikers will not even build out all their defensive and economy buildings, and they are going to go purely offense. Other strikers are just not so strict about that. As some of you may have picked up in my other videos, I am a big fan of this path. The second path you can take is the Defender. Now this is a harder route to go because of the upgrade times. God, the upgrade times of defensive buildings can get insanely long. And add on top of that you have to be a pretty decent attacker. You can't just ignore your offense. Now personally, having never been a defender myself, I went along and asked the DomiNations Hive Mind on Discord. Here are some tidbits that you'll want to keep in mind from the pros if you want to be a good defender. Max only the troops that you use. Max all your defense and your research. This can take a really long time, especially in the university. Max your defensive coalitions, max your walls. Consider finding a first alliance with low-level accounts, because let's be real, no base under Industrial Age is going to save any stars if you are warring with players in Atomic Age or higher. Push your account offensively first and then pivot over to becoming a defender, because as we all know, economy is super important, and attacking, ironically, is better economy than developing your economy. Defenders are split between ones that are geared towards war and ones that are not. The difference between the two is how much you develop your economy buildings and your troops. For instance, war defenders are definitely still going to max out their attacking troops, but multiplayer defenders might not. Insert unwarranted opinion. I don't think there's much point in being a multiplayer defender. You simply lose out on too many resources if you're not in wars, and less resources means you just progress slower, and you miss out on a lot of power spikes that come with progressing through the ages. The last path is the all-rounder. Now, if you're an all-rounder, you level everything. You are a completionist, and you're gonna stay in gunpowder or medieval or classical until you max out literally everything. This isn't hard to do in the earlier ages because upgrade times are not that long, but as you get through to gunpowder age, when you unlock the university, God, it's gonna take forever, so be prepared. So now that we've covered these 3 paths, let's talk in really important note here, which is that you can flow in between these paths as you wish. It's not like you decide from the start, okay, I'm gonna be an all-rounder, and then you're just an all-rounder for the rest of your life as you play DomiNations. That's not how it works. You can spend some time as an all-rounder in the beginning, and then who knows, maybe one day you wake up and you're like, you know what, I really get off to when people fail miserably at attacking my base. And you're going to be a defender. You start out as an all-rounder, then you become a defender. I was once an all-rounder myself, and I transitioned into being a striker because I liked attacking a lot. These paths are flexible, keep an open mind. Now we've talked about the paths, let's dive real quick into the library and the university, because you can waste a lot of time in these 2 buildings. So with the library, only research chapters you absolutely need. Unless you're an all-rounder, then you research everything. Have fun. Focus on the defensive blue books if you're a defender, and focus on the red books if you're a striker. But as mentioned before, even as a defender, you are going to need some of those attacking books because you still need to be able to attack well. These chapters include free companies, battle tactics, banners, standing army, and leadership. These chapters are going to help you regardless of what age you're in. For strikers and defenders, pick and choose the yellow economy books carefully. If you're super hardcore, you would probably barely research any of these chapters, only the bare minimum to unlock the next chapter. I was looking through them just the other day, and honestly, there are very few of them that are absolutely necessary. You'll also notice that I did upgrade them when I first went through the game as a newbie, but if I had to go back in time and do it again, I would not spend so much time in the yellow books. Now let's hit the university. Again, efficiency here is key. Now, unlike the library, the university does not give experience when you do these researches, so they give actually very little war weight. So you can afford to be a little more liberal with the university, but you should still prioritize because the university is probably the biggest time suck in the game. That being said, Chief Hiawatha and Mansa Musa are must completes because their capstones help with all the university research, and Moctezuma gives big quality of life improvements, so those are the first 3 leaders that you should attack in the university. From there, pick and choose only the ones you absolutely need. Now, a lot of these great leaders have a mix of offensive and defensive researches. Be careful now, because a lot of these things can be big time traps. Most importantly is that some university researches scale off super hard into the late game. Let me give you an example. So you can choose in Enlightenment Age as a new player to lock away 3 of your citizens for 165 days. Okay, that is almost half a year to max out your catapult research with Da Vinci. Okay, it's just 1 line of research. You spend half a year maxing out this line of research, then by the time global and atomic age rolls around and people are using fighters, heavy tanks, commies, and zooks, your catapults, guess what? They're completely useless. Look at my university. I almost did that. So be careful what you're dedicating your time to in the university, because you never know, in 2-3 ages, all that time you put in could have been a complete waste. Here's the big fat takeaway. Know your priorities. Don't get bogged down by all the upgrades that are available. The 3 routes that we went over are really going to help you narrow things down so you can focus on the things that are most important depending on your playstyle. Once you hit level 80 and you can move up to Industrial Age, that's when the real game begins. Good luck out there and have fun.